Join me as we explore the profound words of ancient Greece, from Socrates and Plato to Aristotle and Thales. These quotes will transport you to a world of deep contemplation and reflection, uncovering the essence of Greek philosophy and literature. So sit back, relax, and let's delve into the famous Greek quotes that inspired and enlighten us even today. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. Only the dead have seen the end of war. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Love is a serious mental disease. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. The unexamined life is not worth living. Falling down is not a failure. Failure comes when you stay where you have fallen. If you want to be wrong, then follow the masses. Awareness of ignorance is the beginning of wisdom. In every person there is a sun, just let them shine. True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is a habit. When you want success as badly as you want the air, then you will get it. There is no other secret of success. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. Be a free thinker and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. The more you know, the more you know you don't know. Life is only meaningful when we are striving for a goal. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. The weak are always anxious for justice and equality. The strong pay no heed to either. It is our choice of good or evil that determines our character, not our opinion about good or evil. Our problem is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and hit. He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. What I fear is not the enemy's strategy, but our own mistakes. Time is the wisest counselor of all. Freedom is the sure possession of those alone who have the courage to defend it. Time is the king of all men. He is their parent and their grave, and gives them what he will and not what they crave. Just because you do not take an interest in politics does not mean that politics won't take an interest in you. A man who has the knowledge but lacks the power to express it is no better off than if he never had any ideas at all. Everywhere man blames nature, and fate, yet his fate is mostly but the echo of his character and passion, his mistakes and his weaknesses. Nothing exists except atoms and empty space. Everything else is opinion. By desiring little, a poor man makes himself rich. Everything existing in the universe is the fruit of chance and necessity. Happiness resides not in possessions and not in gold. Happiness dwells in the soul. Good means not merely not to do wrong, but rather not to desire to do wrong. No power and no treasure can outweigh the extension of our knowledge. If your desires are not great, a little will seem much to you, for small appetite makes poverty equivalent to wealth. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. The way up and the way down are one and the same. Justice will overtake fabricators of lies and false witnesses. The eyes are more exact witnesses than the ears. There is nothing permanent except change. Big results require big ambitions. Our envy always lasts longer than the happiness of those we envy. To God everything is beautiful, good, and just. Humans, however, think some things are unjust and others just. Time is the wisest of all things that are, for it brings everything to light. The most difficult thing in life is to know yourself. Necessity is the strongest of things, for it rules everything. What man is happy? He who has a healthy body, a resourceful mind, and a docile nature. God is the most ancient of all things, for he had no birth. The past is certain, the future obscure. Many words are not proof of the wise man, because the sage only talk when it's needed, and the words are measured and corresponding with the need. Hope is the most universal of human possessions. He has the most who is most content with the least. I know nothing except the fact of my ignorance. Man is the most intelligent of the animals, and the most silly. We have 2 ears and 1 tongue, so that we would listen more and talk less. There is only a finger's difference between a wise man and a fool. The foundation of every state is the education of its youth. Wise kings generally have wise counselors, and he must be a wise man himself who is capable of distinguishing one. Modesty is the color of virtue. I do not know whether there are gods, but there ought to be. What we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. Painting is silent poetry, and poetry is painting that speaks. Character is long-standing habit. Do not speak of your happiness to one less fortunate than yourself. A few vices are sufficient to darken many virtues. The very spring and root of honesty and virtue lie in good education. I would rather excel in the knowledge of what is excellent than in the extent of my power and possessions. Fate leads him who follows it, and drags him who resists. To find fault is easy, to do better may be difficult. There are two sides to every question. As to the gods, I have no means of knowing either that they exist or do not exist. Let us hold our discussion together in our own persons, making trial of the truth and of ourselves. Man is the measure of all things, of the reality, of those which are, and of the unreality, of those which are not. There are intelligible principles inherent in the matter of every phenomenon, because matter is essentially the sum of all the seemings that it has for any and all persons. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new from these ancient Greek quotes. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.